Katey,
Yes.
thank you for joining me. It's been 30 days since we've been doing the program now. And if we go back to what you said that you wanted to achieve, it was a lot of strength, need to feel stronger in your work, for your work, your passion and your purpose, so that you felt that you had integrity. You needed to be stronger. You also said that if we didn't make any changes, you'd be stiff, your back pain would be there, you'd be sore, and then your contribution to the team would go down. So basically from there, you also said clarity. What was different about the workouts that you've been doing from me than others you've done in the past?
The pace was very slow, very steady, very calculated. It was very different, and taking my time and building up to it, which I've never had before. Honestly, your encouragement of me being emotionally ready for working, I've never experienced that before as a conversation piece. And when you gave me permission at the beginning of the program, it's okay if I want to delay my exercise a day if I'm not feeling emotionally ready for it. Like, that was probably the most powerful tip and piece of advice that you gave me, was just giving me that permission to have some flexibility around it.
Wow, that's thank you for that. That's awesome. So with that being said, what results have you noticed?
Well, I redid my measurements today. Do you want to hear my measurements?
I do. Tell me.
Okay. In typical Guardian style, I have gained weight 1.5 kilos. However, that might be a fallacy, because I've noticed in the past that my sister's weigh scale is about 2 kilograms different than my parents down here, which I've noticed a lot in the past. So that might not actually be a thing. But this morning I was 1.5 kgs heavier. Chest stayed the same. Ribs down 1 centimeter. Waist down 3 centimeters, and hips down 5 centimeters.
Wow.
And interestingly, mid-thigh up 3 centimeters, and my calf up just a little bit, which I really didn't want. My calf muscles are big enough, but they've gone up just slightly, like just millimeters, but they don't really normally change that much.
If you think about, you've been doing a lot of walking as well. You've been stressing that tissue a lot recently. Not stressing in a bad way, stressing that tissue a lot recently, and it's kind of responding to that input. Knowing that Guardians are designed, the endomorphic genome is designed to grow. You're responding to that stimulus. That's good though. Can you share with me though? Oh, you go, keep going.
Oh, I was just gonna say about my thighs too. Like, to me, they look thinner, like they look leaner. So I was surprised that they were 3 centimeters bigger, but I think they're just like growing out this way instead of this way, just because they're getting more dense, I guess.
So some of the skeletal muscle fibers may have gone this way, grown, and some of the adipose tissue, fat cells, may have done that. Which, in terms of your basal metabolic rate, you're sitting there doing nothing rate. Well, what we've done there, basically, let's go back to what you said. What you've done is you've actually increased the strength. You've made your legs stronger. So if we go back to what you said in the original meeting, you've actually already achieved that in one part of your body. Your legs are now.
Absolutely. Well, I can't wait to share more results in other areas I'm feeling strong. Keep going, keep going.
So no, that's where I want you to go next, because I did see your last little video, and I'd like you to share, if it's okay, that journey of how the physical clarity has brought some other clarity to other parts of your life?
Yeah, this has been really fascinating piece and this is what I wanted to achieve that I said at the very beginning was getting that mental clarity, but receiving that more consistently and sustainably as well. And that has been probably the biggest eye-opener throughout this whole process of how getting strength in my body has strengthened my mind already, and I feel so much clarity in my mind that it's helped my mental processing speed up so much more, and also getting clarity around a lot of the emotions that are coming up as well. And you know, before I even spoke to you and I saw your classes online, and I messaged you when I first asked you about coaching me. You might not remember, but I had a lot of fear come up around my strength and around my power, and I realized that I'd been afraid to be strong. And so to see that journey, that was only 6 weeks ago, and to now be here 6 weeks down the road, and to have been in such a place of fear of my strength and fear of my power, such an emotionally driven space. And now I just feel such alignment in my physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual self that I've just I don't even feel like myself. I don't feel heavy. I don't feel like a guardian right now. I don't feel heavy at all. I feel light and so much energy and just go, 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 go. And I feel like an activator right now, actually.
Which is interesting because you just said that you've actually got heavier.
Yeah. Touché. Yes, that's true.
One of the words that I circled on your PDQ was the word confidence. So when we did your original questionnaire, you wanted confidence. You wanted confidence to be there, that know that you could contribute to the team, to know that you could be better for the team. And you wanted the confidence to be able to have more influence.
You're going to make me cry right now, actually. So,
sorry, well, if you want to cry, you can. But
no, it's a good story. So, yeah, last week or so, I had just some real awesome points of clarity about being a guardian. And I wrote it down in a blog post, which I ended up sharing to a bunch of health professional communities that I'm a part of, and got some really phenomenal feedback on it. Which was really inspiring and really humbling because there weren't too many guardians in that space, and it just gave them some awareness and some context and deepened our community intelligence around the guardian health type. And then just 2 days ago, actually, there was someone who posted in the Guardian Facebook group a bit of a negative comment around being a guardian and how they're new to personalized health, and they feel like being a guardian is just about having extra weight and loving people. And what's fun about that? That sounds stupid. That doesn't actually sound really cool or desirable or attractive. And so I ended up sharing that piece that I'd shared in the other group into the Guardian group, and just offered it as my perspective. And the comments that I received back and the messages, I was crying at the response that I received back from people in the Guardian community. And so yeah, it's definitely achieved that too, with the clarity and influence. And I mean, it just gave me the confidence to put those words out there, right? And to feel empowered enough to handle whatever feedback I was going to receive, because I didn't know how that was going to be received, right? And so it didn't matter. I felt strong enough that I could put it out there and just, do my thing.
So one of the things, and I know we were chatting about this offline the other day, is the building that physical competence in your system by doing the moves slower, by giving your central nervous system time to develop an understanding of where your joints are in space, And if we understand that the endomorphic proprioception may be a little bit slower than an ectomorphic proprioception, quite frankly, because it doesn't need to be as fast. If we can develop that body's ability to know where you are in space, a lot of the strength you are gaining is literally the ability to find and switch on fibers with the right amount of strength and with that joint safety at this point in time. And I believe that a lot of that feeling where your joints are when you're doing these exercises and understanding that we're doing it slow for a reason, I think maybe just transferring into that mental focus and competence as well. So I think that there is probably a transference of effort there, and that the physical is helping. Well, we know that the emotional side is going to help the emotional side and vice versa. So I think you're starting to, within 30 days, actually feel that transference of physical competence into mental and emotional competence as well. So well done you, and thank you for sharing that, because I think that's super powerful.
Yeah, and I'm not normally an emotional person and don't cry very often, but yeah, it's just so cool to be working on my physical self and to see how that's just being transferred in so many different ways and positively impacting so many different people in different ways. And even sharing in the Guardian group my personal fitness story has inspired 2 other Guardians to start reactivating their fitness health as well. And there's a power in vulnerability, right? I'm just putting myself out there. I don't know what this is going to look like. I don't know what's going to happen next week, next month, and if I'm actually going to commit to this. And that's just what people need sometimes. Just
before you go on there, because you do actually know what it's going to look like. You've already put that out there, because remember you said, do you believe you can make these changes? And you said yes. And then on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being I'm not confident, 10 I am confident, you said I'm a 10. So you do true. Actually believe that you can make these changes.
Yes, that is.
So you've already got it.
I'd already succeeded in my mind.
And the reason we've even established this, yes, correct. You're already there. You just need to sort of stay the path now. All right. So that is all positive stuff. What can I do, Katey Lee, to make your experience even more better?
Okay, I have a few things. So I need clarity around, I understand that this is a sensory motor phase and I have to take it nice and slow and I'm getting all these benefits. I'm really curious to know, and it would just help me to know for my long-term planning tendencies, what this phase is, what the next phase is, is there a third phase? What's the long-term game plan here?
So the long-term game plan is the sensory motor phase goes for at least 3 months, and that's dependent on your exercise history previously. It's not to say that we can't tweak some of the exercises that are in there or some of the movements that are in there and change things to things that you will actually enjoy more. The reason it's 3 months is the connective tissue. So it's not the skeletal muscle. For your skeletal muscle fibers, your legs are already an indication as to what your skeletal muscle fibers are capable of. The thing is that the connective tissue that supports those skeletal muscle fibers supports the joint tissues and supports the central nervous system understanding of where you are in space. It's particularly the connective tissues. They're avascular, meaning they don't get a lot of blood flow. They need movement and time of movement to actually strengthen, to be able to deal with the stress of the next lot of phases of exercise. So the next phase of exercise is what we call the force phase, and this is where we take the skills that you've learned in this phase and we add either mass or speed to it. So this is when we start to get a little bit more, righto, now we're starting to lift some heavier stuff. We're starting to lift some heavier stuff with a little bit more intensity. So your work times will come down and your recovery times will start to go out more. If you think of the perfect activator workout, that's what you're going to go through next, on, off.
Oh.
If we do that too soon, you will grow because you're designed to grow. Hello, I've got a bee. Hello, bee, welcome. Please pollinate my yard, but don't bite me. If we think about that, because you're designed to grow, if that connective tissue isn't ready to keep up with that growth and that strength gain, that's your injury. And I don't want you to get injured. I want you to do this sustainably for a long time, because if you get injured while you're doing this, all of that confidence stuff, all of it is gone. One, you won't trust me because I hurt you. So if I hurt you physically, I hurt you emotionally. And particularly for you, your health type, if I lose that trust with you, then my programs, you won't do them. Doesn't matter what I say, I'm a piece of the proverbial. And so that is literally why, particularly for you, it's important that we go through these phases. All health types should go through these phases. It's just nobody wants to go through this phase because I want it now, right? And if we give it to you now, particularly someone who's designed to grow, you'll get it. You'll get it at a cost of something else. So you'll get it at the cost of either your joint proprioception, you'll blow a knee or blow a foot, for example, in the guardian community. Or because you could lift so much, there's some stuff. If we just go for the next, because you've got 2 months to go now, so we can tweak some of the exercises, that's cool.
You told me 8 to 9 weeks before. Now all of a sudden this 3 months is being thrown around. I don't know.
Are you sure I said 8 to 9 weeks? Are you sure?
Did.
Are you sure I said that? Oh, I don't know.
It's on camera. We're going back.
Batman, what is it? I'm pretty sure you said 12 weeks, Chaddy. Okay.
I don't know. All right.
But so what we can do is, and then because you've gone through this, maybe what we can do is on 1 or 2 of the exercises, actually lift the intensity a little bit more. So put you just above 70% effort so that you are getting that feeling, that intensity that you feel you need. Because I still want you to actually love what you're doing. The main thing is, though, getting you through this. It's not even getting you through, it's having you enjoy this phase. You've already seen so many results of the things that you said you wanted to see, that if you get injured now, all of that just goes. So think about even this, you like going for bushwalks and you're doing a lot of bushwalking at the moment. You doing these exercises or this program slower is helping your central nervous system understand where your joints are in space, so that when you go for your bushwalks and you step on an uneven surface, you should actually be able to get your balance a little bit faster. So I'm sorry to, yeah. Oh, are you?
Oh yeah.
We'll just write that one down as another benefit.
Yeah, because it's all uneven ground on these trails, and I'm just like dancing across the top of them now.
You're sure-footed as a mountain goat.
Not literally, but yeah, it's just easier to hop, get across the creek and across the rocks and things like that.
So can I just say thank you for sharing that, because that's powerful for me to know. Scale of 1 to 10. Scales are good because we get numbers. 1 being nah, 10 being woohoo. Where are you in terms of satisfaction with me and my training services?
Can we press pause on that, answering that question? Because I still have other questions about my program.
Okay, yep, sorry, go.
And also just want to say that I appreciate you looking out for me and thinking of my best and highest interest, even though I want to go, and getting impatient on some things. Thank you for reassuring me and walking me through that. It does make me feel good that you're looking out for me from a very high, different perspective, almost like a parent, and I'm just a child that just wants to go. So I do appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for sharing.
And it's very rare for a guardian, let me just say, for them to receive that type of support in their lives, because that's usually us doing it for everybody else. So it is highly, highly cherished by guardians, because it's a rare individual that comes into a guardian's life that actually does that for them. So thank you. Okay, so my wrists are still bothering me, and particularly by the time I'm getting to the dumbbell twist thing on the ground, my form is not very good, because I'm putting my hand so far out, trying to find an angle where my wrist isn't gonna hurt, so that I can do it. So I think I'd appreciate an alternative to that move. I've definitely noticed a difference in my shoulder girdle, even with those trigger point things, do not hurt like they did at the beginning at all. And I think I shared with you too, I've noticed that my posture overall has really changed, like consistently. And when I am going on these walks, I'm focusing on my breathing and my posture the entire time, putting my shoulder blades in my back pockets. And I've really noticed a change.
Just one thing, like, don't force yourself all the time. Katey, don't force yourself all the time to be in perfect posture, because forcing yourself all the time to be in great posture is actually going to cause your tissue a stress. The main thing is to change your posture, which is why those movements are really important, where we're just putting new movement information into that tissue, right? The thing to think about is, are my joints in the best place they can be to perform this task? Perfect posture is one thing. Perfect posture constantly becomes a posture that you get stuck in. So that's why there's lots of different movement patterns and lots of different weird sort of stuff in your program.
Okay.
Because everyone says perfect. Now, when you're doing load and when you're lifting exercise, you may need to be structurally in the best position to be able to perform that task. But you came forward then, and then you went back on the camera. And that's also good. That movement is one of the things we need to do. So just holding a posture for the sake of holding a posture for a long time is going to reinforce that posture. And if that's the only posture you reinforce, then you're going to get stuck there. And then other tasks are going to cause you pain or discomfort, or whatever word you want to use there.
Ooh, that's another benefit. My back pain's totally gone now. High five. Haven't had back pain for like 2 weeks now. Which is very exciting.
Well done, you.
Thank you. And yeah, so just that dumbbell one at the end, if we could change that one, that would be awesome. And you've already answered my question, because I'm really loving the crawling one. And so you've already answered why I'm doing those different poses, because I was so ready to just throw them out the window and hated them. But now it makes sense. Now I know the why. So thank you.
You're welcome. What we'll need to do, because you've been doing this one for a month anyway, the intensity can remain the same. The durations can remain the same, because that's what we're stressing at the moment is that adaptation. Now, so just for me, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being cannot, do not, 10 being absolutely, where are you in terms of satisfaction with me and my training services?
Ooh.
Oh, Look at you think now. Have a look at that.
No, it's definitely a 10. It's all the support. It's the personalization of it. Like, you just get it. It's so nice. It's so different. It's so unexpected even. It's so funny. I guess fitness industry, I just don't think of this like warmer approach, and someone who is flexible and adaptable and open to this. Like, just programs I've had before, it's like, this is the way it's done, come back to me like in 2 weeks and we'll do this and do this and do this. Very instructive, I guess. And this has been much more supportive than I've ever experienced before. And so it's been really refreshing and satisfying and comforting, which is very important to guardians.
That means so much to hear, actually. Thank you very much for that. That's great. I would love to take that one little bit that you just said then. Most of the lectures I give to particularly beginning personal trainers, or even people who are already qualified and they do exactly what you just said, and give them access to somebody who actually is going through this, and show them that it's care, and go through the right steps, because that's a super powerful statement, and I actually really appreciate it. Thank you. That's massive.
Thank you.
So which goal, all of the stuff that you're going through at the moment and you're noticing, and everything we've spoken about so far today, what's what goal or desired outcome is most important for you to achieve in the next 30 days?
I really want to master my form.
Okay, great.
Okay. Yes.
Perfect. Great answer. Okay, three biggest enjoyments that you're getting from these sessions.
One is listening to music again while I do it. Has been very rewarding and fun. Didn't realize that I'd stopped doing that for so long, denying myself that.
Yeah.
So putting the music on has been awesome. And I am enjoying my progression. Like, I do notice now that I'm stronger than I was at the beginning, that I'm not as fatigued as I was at the beginning, and feeling confident with it too. So I'm more confident to push myself a little bit, and like, just holding form a little bit longer, or just not taking that extra beat for a break and just jumping into it again.
Perfect.
And also, I've really streamlined the time. Like, the first couple of weeks, it was taking me an hour and a half to go through the whole program. And now it's like, I've shaved it down to like 55 minutes to complete the whole thing. So that feels really good, just optimizing and streamlining the whole process, being more efficient.
As long as we're still doing those durations of effort.
Yes.
So those timings are important to let the right adaptation occur. So it's doing it for that long it's there for a reason. It's not there to punish you to be there for that long. We want to build cardiovascular endurance base. We want to help the central nervous, and particularly think about your asthma. Like, if we literally threw bang go now, this may not be able to deal with it as well as it might be by helping you focus on that breathing and controlling your breathing throughout a longer effort. So that'll be interesting to see as we go through the phases later on, is what happens to that breathing now that we've taught it to deal with a longer duration bout of movement. Okay, thank you very much for sharing that. I know you've mentioned some already, but 3 improvements, just 1, 2, 3, that we can work on to help make this program even more, make you love it even more?
One would be just helping me with the wrist exercises at the end of my routine. 2 would just be continue to be open and accessible to my questions. And 3, actually, Do you do anything around recovery as well? I don't know, like I was talking to a dietitian friend about my food intake and recovery after I'm working out and the food intake and all of that. Is that in your scope or is that out of scope? Or I mean like food intake.
Food, I know, is not me.
Okay.
Because I'm not dietetics qualified. However, the good thing with the Shafe app is that all of your best foods are actually there, and we know that if you're having those foods, your body should be able to handle stress better.
So what about
my suggestion is you go hydration.
Yeah, so my typical routine is I'm working out, I'm doing this usually in the evening, and then it's usually over my food hour, so I don't eat dinner anymore. Like I'm basically I just eat lunch and then breakfast 3 to 4 times a week or whatever. But I'm not eating after the workout. I'm just drinking water. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
You
I don't know, you hear people saying like, oh, you need protein and all this EAA.
No, you're designed to grow. The thing, remember, you're a guardian, you're designed to grow. So if you have the protein after that, you are going to grow. Particularly at this phase, water is one of the best things you can shove into your system. If you're feeling faint, dizzy or otherwise, then that's a different conversation. But if you feel like you're nailing this and you feel like you've got enough energy and you feel like you're well hydrated and you're going to the toilet and your wee is, almost clear, not quite clear, but is between almost clear and clear, you are hydrated and you're on, if you feel good about it, you're on the right track. You don't need to, for you, particularly as someone who's designed to grow, and if we look at the chronobiology of when you should and shouldn't eat, you're on track.
Okay.
It sounds perfect.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just needed that reassurance.
All right, Missy Moo. You're welcome. You're on the right track. Don't read Men's Health magazine and let them tell you that everybody needs to eat 6 times a day to keep their metabolic furnace burning. And please don't sue me, Men's Health magazine, for saying. Okay, you're on the right track. Just follow your chronobiology, mate. You're doing well. It's good.
Okay.
I need to get going because I have another appointment to get to, another meeting on Zoom. Yay. It's good to see you. It's good to see you smiling. I'm so happy we're getting somewhere and you're noticing things. That's the bestest, most boisterous thing ever. I'm fairly sure that's the right English there. And we'll catch up with those changes soon, hey?
Yes. Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate your time.
All right, Dom.